Alright, this is controlling external bleeding. The first step is to check the scene to make sure it's safe, and then you put on gloves. Alright, then you need to, what you're going to do is check the person to make sure they're okay. Alright, and then you'll send someone to call 911. And then you tell the person what you're going to do and who you are, and you obtain consent. And then after you do that, pretend he's bleeding from his arm, and you're going to need a dressing, and the dressing should be sterile and aseptic, if available. If not, anything as clean as possible. And then, so what you'll do is you'll press, you don't want to touch the sore, but you want it to be completely covered with the dressing. And then after that, you use a bandage, and then mine's sticky. Alright, and the bandage should also be clean. And then you want to make sure the bandage goes farther than the dressing. And then you'll use overlapping, bandages to do it. Alright, and then you want to get it tight so it's snug but not too tight that it stops circulation. And then, so while you're doing, after you do this, to make sure you didn't get it too tight, you'll want to keep checking circulation and checking their skin to make sure you didn't get it too tight. As long as you could feel a pulse and the skin keeps its color, you're fine. And then you usually want to start at the distal point to make sure, and work towards the trunk of the body to make sure you get alright. And then after that, if you're using a bandage where it wasn't so sticky, you'd have to tie the ends to make sure that to make sure there weren't any loose ends. Alright. After that, if it was still bleeding by the time you didn't get this done, you'd want to press down firmly to make sure the bleeding stopped. After that, if the bleeding doesn't stop, you would elevate the arm to help, and pressure point it to help prevent the bleeding. If it bled through the bandage, you would want to put another dressing on it and bandage it again. And then after that, you take steps to minimize shock, like sitting them in a supine position and getting them, making sure they're warm but not too hot. And then just making them as comfortable as possible, and if they have any other injuries, helping them with that. And again, if someone hadn't already called 911, you would make sure that was done. And then the last steps is proper glove removal, and then washing your hands with lots of soap and water.